The Venasaur drop event gave us some new cards to play with. In this video, I'm going to talk about why you need to be using the new Jigglypuff card. Hey everyone, I'm Ronan. Welcome to my channel where I talk about Pokemon TCG Pocket. Leave a like and subscribe if I help you out today. So let's get a quick rundown of this card. It's a basic Pokemon with 50 HP. Its only move is Sing, which puts your opponent's active Pokemon to sleep. It has a weakness to fighting, it's a 1 retreat cost, and it is colorless. Why is everyone talking about this card like it's some menace, like it's just a beast? It doesn't even stand 2 feet tall. It's kind of crazy. Like, why is everyone scared of this card? Well, putting your opponent's active Pokemon to sleep with 1 colorless energy is going to help immensely when it comes to setting up any big hitter like Dragonite, Arcanine, Mewtwo, Machamp. It's small in size, but it's going to have a huge impact in games. This is completely changing the meta. So most Pokemon take 2 to 3 energies to be able to attack and put your opponent's Pokemon to sleep. Hypno just has an ability, however, it's a stage 1 Pokemon, so you have to evolve it. So either way, it's going to be turn 3 or 4 or whatever. You have to be able to draw it, right? However, if you get Jigglypuff in your hand, turn 2 or 3, it's in the active spot, you can then immediately swing and put your opponent's Pokemon to sleep. And because Jigglypuff's attack is colorless, you can put this with just about any deck that you have. It honestly doesn't matter. If you have Jigglypuff in your hand, turn 2 or 3, you are putting your opponent's Pokemon to sleep. Now, what sleep does is that your opponent has to flip a coin. It is a 50-50 chance to be able to wake back up. If they don't wake back up, they can neither retreat or attack, which is absolutely incredible. If your opponent's setting up a Pokemon or they have like a heavy hitter, like this is going to counter so many things. Like Mewtwo, if it's asleep, it can't attack. It can't hurt you if it's sleeping. And then same with like Pikachu and Blaine decks. If you have Jigglypuff out and you're able to put them to sleep, this could keep you in the game until you are ready to swap out and switch into a heavy hitter, something that's going to knock out your opponent. This is going to protect you from Pikachu. It's going to protect you from Rapidash, Ninetales, things that will hit you super fast. It's also going to protect you from things that hit super hard. To get this card, you need to be battling against the Venasaur in the Venasaur drop event. So if you go over to battles, you'll see the solo events there. Click on the Venasaur one. Now it's best to be battling against the expert mode. Expert mode is going to give you 100% drop rate of a promo pack. It took me quite a while, actually, not gonna lie. Even though Jigglypuff has a 24% chance to drop, I think I got about 3 of the Venusaurs before I was able to get a second Jigglypuff. But eventually I did end up getting a second Jigglypuff, and I was like, finally, we can build some decks. But before we build a deck, comment down below and let me know which card out of this new promo pack is your favorite. Honestly, I love the Venusaur. He's just a little sleepy boy and it's great. The art is beautiful. I appreciate it so much. Dragonite was the first deck I was able to build, so immediately I was like, I gotta put it with Dragonite. So we've got 2 Dratini, Dragonair, Dragonites, 1 Drowzee, 1 Hypno, 2 Jigglypuff, 2 Potions, 2 XPs, 2 Professors Researches, 2 Giovannis, 1 red card, 1 Sabrina. That was a lot. However, you can build this however you want, right? I just thought this is how I want to do it. So here's some clips of me. I've got the Jigglypuff out in the active spot. It's great, right? It's a good setup. I've got a Pokeball in hand and I can draw for the Dratini on my first turn and place my first energy down on the Jigglypuff and be able to put my opponent's active Pokemon to sleep. Dragonite takes 4 energies to be able to use its move Draco Meteor, which is going to spread out 200 damage to the opponent's Pokemon. On top of that, you have to get the evolutions. and it's a very difficult, it's a very slow build to play. However, since I've got this Jigglypuff, I'm immediately able to put my opponent's Pokemon to sleep, and then as soon as I get Drowzee, Hypno on the bench, I'm able to flip a coin again. If my Jigglypuff got knocked out somehow, I can flip a coin due to Hypno's ability and be able to potentially put the opponent's Pokemon to sleep as well. So I realized later as I was playing through these games that I had Psychic Energy in my energy pool, and I was like, oh crap. However, it worked out for me, but you can just, remember to take that out if you want. You don't have to have the Psychic in there. The only cards that are Psychic is this Hypno and the Drowzee, and you only have one of each of them. But you don't even have to have it in the active spot, right? That's ideally not where you want it. You can just use its ability while it's sitting on the bench, and you can continue to stack up the Dragonite. It did work out for me. However, I've seen it screw people up having too many different types of energies. But this is what the end game kind of looks like, right? So I've got my Dragonite that's on the bench. It's got 3 energies. It's ready to go. I'm about to retreat and swap into the Dragonite and swing, right? So I had my Jigglypuff out to start with, and I was able to stall a little bit, and then I got Hypno and stall with that even after my Jigglypuff got knocked out. So it was pretty great being able to stall for that long, getting those evolutions out and getting that energy out. I think it was a good call not adding Wigglytuff EX to this deck. If your opponent got 2 points off of that while you're still stacking your Dragonite, it's definitely pretty scary. And trying to spread out 7 energies to these Pokemon, that's pretty difficult. That's a tall task to ask for. But if you're a regular Dragonite enjoyer, go ahead and try this deck out. Again, you can build it however you want. The next deck I decided to do was this Machamp EX deck. We've got 2 Machops, 2 Machoke, 2 Machamp EX, 2 Jigglypuff, 2 Wigglytuff EX, 2 Potions, 2 XPs, 2 Professor's Researches, 2 Giovanni's, 1 red card, 1 Sabrina. Very similar to the last, just kind of swapped out the Dragonite line for the Machamp line. Also no Hypno. So when I was coming up with this deck, I was like, what do I want to play? What do I want to add to this Jigglypuff Wigglytuff EX, right? I thought Machamp EX was good. I thought Arcanine EX was good. Maybe Mewtwo. I mean, there's so many different possibilities, right? But I was like, nah, Machamp. I think Machamp is going to be better than Arcanine. Arcanine has 150 HP and it does 120, but ends up doing 20 damage to itself. And I was like, okay, well, I don't really want to do that, right? So I was like, Machamp, 180 HP, doing 120 for the same amount of energy, right? So if I have a pure fighting deck, I can then put 1 energy onto that Jigglypuff, have a Machop on the bench, and be stacking the Machop, trying to get those evolutions while I have my Jigglypuff out, putting the Pokemon to sleep. I honestly felt like this battle was such a perfect showcase for what this deck is capable of. So I had the Jigglypuff, I've got the Machop on the bench stacking energies, I'm able to get evolutions onto that Machop, energy onto the Machop, right? And Jigglypuff in the meantime is just putting the opponent's Pokemon to sleep. See, even though this Electrode here has 0 retreat cost, I put it to sleep, it flips tails, and it can't retreat. And then I'm able to stall another turn, get another energy onto my Machoke. I definitely feel like this is maybe something that the Machamp EX was lacking in its deck, was the ability to stall to be able to set up the Machamp EX. Because Jigglypuff is only using 1 energy, you could play into the Wigglytuff, but Jigglypuff is only using 1, and I was able to stall with it alone to be able to set up this Machamp EX and swing for 120, swing with the Giovanni for 130, and knock out this Zapdos EX here in a second. I think being able to stall out such a quick deck like Pikachu EX is, being able to stall it out and set up my Machamp here, it's such a big threat. It adds so much value to what this deck could be. It adds so much value to this Machamp EX, specifically just being able to stall out and hit hard. There's not many Pokemon that can one-shot a Machamp EX, so now it is just such a huge threat on the field, having 3 energies. What are you gonna do with this battle at this point? I will definitely be playing this a bit more, as I did really enjoy playing it and seeing Machamp, which is honestly such a cool Pokemon to me, just hit really hard. Seeing this card actually be able to be put to use, I feel like it's been kind of difficult and definitely underrated in the current meta, but Jigglypuff made it so much better to play with, so much easier to set up and use. Hopefully you guys got some good information out of this. I really enjoyed playing these 2 decks here, seeing how well this Jigglypuff card could actually affect these really difficult decks to play with. These decks that maybe aren't doing so hot. I think it definitely has elevated the value of these currently underrated decks. Well, that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening, and paying attention. I hope you guys learned something new here and that I was able to put together a good video for you and good content. Please try out one of these decks and let me know which one down in the comments below you were playing if you enjoy it. Again, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. I appreciate you guys so much. Ronan out.